All right, welcome back. I am starting to lay out the high current part of the firewall. George is doing the low current stuff. And we have a battery contactor, a starter contactor, battery starter, alternator. We are doing shunts. Now we're doing the VPX system, in which case you don't need the shunt according to vertical power, the one going to the bus bar. But we do want the shunt A from the alternator and shunt C, which gives you bidirectional current flow. I kind of sketched this version up based on that matches our firewall. So we're going to put the battery here. That's one of the things I'm working on. And you're going to laugh. But I'm trying to avoid having just shunts, and the shunts need fuses, 2 each, so that's 4 fuses. Then there's a fuse for the alternator, which some people say yay, some people say nay. According to RANS, it looks like they want a fuse, so we're going to put the fuse. Then there's a fuse for the VPX, which they say optional. You don't really need it. I guess you could consider another point of failure. My thought is you're going to have fat power wire going through the firewall, even though it's just going to the VPX, which is going to be here. I think we put a fuse on it. Long story short, I don't want stuff everywhere. I like neat wiring. And you're gonna have the battery here. That's gonna go to the main contactor, no fuse. And then from the main contactor, these green wires all represent high current wires. But I'm trying to make all of this like one piece. So I kid you not, I had tape all over this, 17 different ways. I was up till after 4 a.m. this morning, this morning, and had about 7 different ways of doing it. I like this the best, and I'll tell you why. Because the shunt, I'm gonna bolt together with a bus bar and also use that as a terminal for the fuse. So that eliminates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ring terminals. I'm kind of making a little fuse stud myself. And then I found this little 4-position fuse block that goes on top. So this is the ATC fuses, because the shunt in and out all needs to be fused before it goes through the firewall. Then I went to the local electronics store and I found a little cover. So kind of trying to do my own thing, but the idea is you're gonna have a 4-gauge wire coming in here, and then you literally have the 4-gauge going to the VPX and the 4-gauge going to the alternator. Actually, RANS says an 8-gauge, but they supply you with 4-gauge, so we're going to use that. And this will be a bus bar. I know this is just made out of aluminum. I ordered some, but copper. And yeah, so basically you have the 2 wires coming out here, one to the VPX, one to the alternator, so that's going to be super neat. 1 wire coming in here from the battery. The shunt will automatically read the alternator here because they are connected there. And hopefully it all works. And then you basically just have 1 more wire going to the starter and the 1 4-gauge going from the main contactor to the the starter contactor. Anyway, that's a long-winded story of me talking very tired and confusing, but I think this is going to be pretty cool, so I wanted to document it. All right, this is going to be the gist of it. My simplified high current or thick wire wiring diagram. Battery, shunts, fuses, alternator, starter, into the cab, into the VPX, and this is the piece that I'm working on. Again, these fuses are not the ones I'm going to be using, but the layout is very efficient, and I'm just waiting for my bus bar to come in. I made an aluminum one, and some material for down here I'm going to grab tomorrow, and I'll finish that up. But in the meantime, I kind of started disassembling the stuff on the firewall again, hopefully maybe for the last time. And I cut the insulation and punched out all of the holes that go in there, all the way from my heater input to all the little bolt holes. So in theory you can service everything. If you remember, I had my little parking brake bracket that I made, so that's going to sit in there. Anyway, that will all go in here, and I'll make a piece for up there as well. I did this in the rest of the thing and made a big difference. I basically just ran some caulking, high temperature caulking, same stuff I sealed the firewall with, between the cage tubes and the firewall. So got a little messy up there, but you won't see it. So that is that. Battery mount will be next. Then once I finish my high current thingies, I'll be able to mount those and move forward. But again, for now, good night. Sometimes you feel like you take 2 steps back, 1 step forward, or hopefully 1 step forward and 2 steps back. No, same thing. Anyway, I put in my smoke line. I put this in. I actually put it in with high temp silicone, sealed this guy in, took everything off, and kind of reassembling it now, and hopefully also for the last time. I'm gonna put these guys back in and keep going. All right, I finally came up with a plan for the battery mount. I had the engine mount on, and this does not interfere. We're using this box, which you can buy from EarthX for $100. And you can see it's going to be spaced out about 1/2 inch. The battery can slide out on this side. And the way I was kind of concerned about putting the weight on the firewall. And then I looked, the Rotax engine version of this, I believe, mounts the battery on the firewall as well. So I think we're good there. But I also noticed that the inner tube, the cage tube, runs diagonally across there. So I did some finagling, and from the center line of the tube to the bolt hole is about 5/8 of an inch. It didn't quite fit. I had to move these holes in, as much as I could. But I made this template, and that gives me, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little drilled hole. That's the hole that was in the supplied battery box. Then the drawn hole is where I had to drill it to get close enough to the tube. Anyway, long story short, I'm putting washers, big washers on either side of the firewall. That'll give it rigidity. And this one will actually clamp on the inside of the firewall to the tube. So what I did is I glued these washers on because I'm going to put the insulation on over this. And same on this side for the the lightning boxes, the ignition boxes. I basically just glued them all on. I figured it'd just make it easier to, assemble, disassemble. You don't have the washers falling down behind the insulation and turn it into a nightmare. So that's where I'm going to leave it tonight. You can see this one here doesn't have a washer because that's getting a tube clamp. And same with this one behind the parking brake. That's going to get clamped to the tube there. Yeah, so that'll dry tonight. Hopefully tomorrow I'll continue with that. Get these guys in. Yeah, I think the firewall, there's some more stuff that's going to get mounted up here, my little electronics thing and another pass-through. But I think right now I'm trying to get everything underneath here finished because that piece of insulation can go in after, but I want to put that back together. All right, good night. All right, so I'm about to mount the battery box. I made some nice 7/16 standoff spacers. So it's about 1/2 inch with the washer. But before that, I had to perforate the insulation we're putting on the firewall. These 3 holes are for the battery mount. These are for the parking brake. Basically, you can access all the bolts from either side. And then we're doing this insulation on the inside. So yeah, pretty much double insulate it. And I punched all the holes in that as well. This is where the parking brake mounts, and then the battery mount goes kind of around that. Pulley retention, heater box, throttle, ignition boxes, stuff and more stuff. I use this type of punch, just a piece of plastic, and that worked great. You can get all the way up to, I think, 1 3/8 in here. So time to mount it. Yeah, jumping back and forth here, but Amazon, no, aircraft spruce came today. I'd ordered a bunch of stuff. So this is my, I think I talked about this earlier, my shunt / little fuses for the shunts for these wires, and big fuses for alternator and the VPX, all in one little contained box. So that cover will be on there. And these are, I'm using meaty fuses, or ANI they're called. They're gonna go on there. So the main contactor will come right into the side. I got my bus bar. I'm gonna make that and basically piece all this together. I don't know if I talked about this already, but I made these little acrylic blocks on the bottom. They kind of mimic the fiberglass ones that came with the shunts. So pretty excited to do that and working on that now. All right, this is pretty cool. I have to say this is probably the most compact and efficient setup you can get to cram all that stuff into a little space. These are the two 4 lugs that go out, 60 amp fuses, bus bar, and right now I'm making this bus bar. When this sits on the firewall, that bus bar is going to go chick 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 to this, and then the 4 gauge is going to go over to the starter relay. Beautiful. All right, now we got to make sure it all fits. I have these two bubble outs right in the middle and the bottom is where the main contactor is going to be. So picture that there. Then this is going to go here. I finished the bus bar. So that red line is the center of that contactor. So that's going to bolt onto there. The power cable for the alternator and for the VPX is going to come out of the bottom. And then this cover will still, I cut out where the wires are in the bus bar. Slide on and click on, no problemo. This is mimicking the oil filter, which the top of it from pictures sits right about here. Hopefully it doesn't interfere, if not I'm screwed. And yeah, so I'm feeling pretty confident that this is gonna work. And I'm just double checking here. So if you take the engine mount bolts, they're about 12 inches apart from the center, so 6 inches from the center of the engine block. The oil filter from the center of the engine block is literally 5 or 5.5 inches maximum, and my distance, because it starts there, is about 6.5 inches. So the top of the oil filter, which sits here, should have probably about 1.5 inches clearance. Plus there's, from pictures that I've seen, clearance to the firewall. So I'm thinking that it should be fine for changing the oil filter. All right, super stoked how that came out. Yeah, like this. Just wanted to see if the boot fits. I can probably cut a little notch out of the back of it. I'm gonna put some heat shrink on that exposed area, and the cover can still slide in from the top. I'm gonna put little angle brackets on the side with some screws to hold it on, and got that mounted. Through bolted on this side, one more bolt on the bottom. I gotta penetrate the firewall insulation. The rest is up top. So psyched. All right, time to go to bed. Good night. Today, put heat shrink on this. It was a little tricky feeding it around, but it's a double wall insulated heat shrink. I made the brackets for the side covers. Those were more time consuming, as all brackets are, with nut plates in them. So yeah, basically you can put the side cover on and put a couple of truss head 8/32 screws in it, and that'll keep that nice and solid. And yeah, I'm liking it.